We're going to work on the C10A today. It has some little repairs that need to be done before winter so I can put the deluxe dog eater on it. And I got some new handlebar grips. I got a new aftermarket Chinese carb for it. And we're going to fix something in the dashboard. So let's go look a little closer. Here's the original carb and the throttle shaft. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of play in that throttle shaft, and it doesn't idle properly because of it. It's sucking air like crazy. So I figured for $28 and free shipping I'd go with one of these aftermarket carbs. And handlebars are going to get replaced, handlebar grips. And here's the big problem down here. So you can see this area in the dashboard here where the PTO lever engages. This is really crazy to me. So this thing is so egg-shaped that it won't stay engaged because of all this play. If you remember how this works, there's a piece of angle iron up there that's kind of upright, and there's a bend in this rod that goes around it. Well, when the rod has this much play in it, it's impossible to stay engaged. Now, it looks like someone's previously welded it here. As you can see, there's a big weld blob on there. So I'm going to have to grind that down flat again. And it's eaten away on the bottom here, where it's been rubbing on here for about half the diameter of the rod. So I may try to fill that up with some weld and then grind it back to a circle again. But we'll see how that goes. So that's really what we're going to do today. And once all that's good, I'll change the oil, put some winter weight oil in the Kohler here, and then I'll bring it back to my other location and put the dog eater on it. And it's at a rental property that I have, so we'll do that. Alright, so my plan of attack here was that I got some fender washers, and they're kind of thin, but this really isn't that thick either. These are a hair thinner than it was. But the rod is a 3/8, so I got one that's a 3/8, and that might be too tight. And then I got some that are 1/2 inch, which have a little bit of play in it. So I should be able to take this rod out, thread it through this hole, and then weld this in the right position on the dash. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to another machine and measure exactly where it should be so I can make sure that the hole's in the right spot. And on my 5865, I've got a brand new dash panel on there, so I'll measure it on that one. Alright, so what we're going to do is take this cotter pin out of the PTO engagement lever down here, and hopefully we can just pull this thing right out. There we go. Now I should be able to fish this rod back out the hole. Hopefully. There we go. So, this is what I was talking about before. If you look up here, there's this huge gash in here where it's been going against the dashboard for years. So I'm going to wire wheel that a little bit and see if I can fill that up with some weld. And then we'll attempt to grind this flat into a rod again. Alright, let's see what we got. I missed. That should do it. I'll fill that sucker up. Yeah, now we can grind it down flat and make it round again. One little spot over here on the side I'm going to get. Yeah. Well, that should do it. A couple globs of snot in those holes. Now I should be able to grind that down flat again, and we should be good. Alright, so I got it all welded up and I filed it and ground it, and I can take a 3/8 wrench and put all the way down the thing without any binding, so I think it's good enough. Alright, so here's a brand new dash on this 665 that's over here. What I'm trying to do is just figure out where that hole should be. So if I measure into the center of the hole, it's about 1 3/8 in from the side. And if I measure up from where it bends down here, it's about, let's say 3/4 up, and what did I say, 1 3/8 in. Let's say that's at 1 1/4 there. Let's say 1 5/8, not 3/8. What am I thinking? 1 5/8 in. Measure once, cut twice, right? So that's 1 5/8, and I'd say it's actually more like that's 3/4, 7/8 up and 1 5/8 in. 7/8 and 1 5/8. That's what we'll do. So I ground down around there, and we're just going to try to get this thing on there in the right spot. Now, someone gave me these little magnetic clamps last year for welding. I never used them. I thought maybe this would be a good place to use one. So I think what I'll do is I'll take out the ruler, and we'll see if we can get that in the right spot. So I said about 1 5/8, which, damn, it's just about right there. Let's see, that's about 1 5/8 there. Well, I'm going to put you down to do this. You get the idea. Alright, so I think I got it in the right spot. So now I'm basically going to put a couple tack welds around the edge here. Now that freaking washer is zinc, so it's probably going to be hard to weld. And that's annoying. They put some stamping in at Home Depot. That's how the register knows what it is. Maybe there's no stamp on the other side. Ah, perfect. We'll go upside down with it here. Alright, you get the idea. I'll weld it on, then we'll come back. It's probably going to look crappy because I'm not good at welding zinc, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so I got it welded on there. Now I'm just going to grind it down and clean it up a little bit. And I'm also just going to hit this with a little bit of paint and spruce it up a hair. And we'll go from there. This tractor's a worker. It's not a showpiece. So this is some serious snow blowing, lawn mowing, C10A. Alright, so I got it ground down enough for this job. I'm just going to hit it with some rusty metal primer, and we'll put our rod back in, and hopefully we're good to go.